Hello and welcome to the video. It's the only video on YouTube. You might be wondering, why do we want to know the top slowest motorcycles? Well, a few reasons. First of all, it's funny, because a lot of you probably own one of these bikes and are going to get all worked up over its way making it onto the list. But don't shoot the messenger, I'm just reporting the facts. Secondly, it could come in handy if you're shopping for a bike. You might be foolish enough to be looking at acquiring a certain slow motorcycle. Then you'll check out this list and get some sense knocked into you before making the second worst decision of your life. The first being, of course, that one thing that happened last summer camp that you and your friends swore to never talk about ever again. Lastly, maybe you're just a sick, masochistic freak that gets off on riding the slowest motorcycles around. You craven little creature, you're just gonna sit there and off in the corner to all these slow little bikes. I know, it's just none of my business, whatever, right? Similar to our top 10 fastest motorcycle videos, we will just look at power figures and rank them by their power to weight ratio, going from fastest slow bike to slowest slow bike. Got that? But before we get started, make sure you click the notification bell and stay up to date on all the freshest motorcycle content. You never know, maybe we'll finally mention your bike that you always tell us we forgot about in the comments section. Today's video is brought to you by our online store over at shop.yamanoob.co. More on that later. We've got a real bike coming in at number 10 spots, the Harley-Davidson Iron 883. This bike has proprietary 1950s technology that turns gasoline into noise in lieu of horsepower. Everyone is familiar with the Sportster platform at this point, just how notoriously underpowered the 883 is, but I'm not sure how many people are aware of the specificities of its inadequacy. First of all, it weighs 564 pounds, so it's real heavy, almost as heavy as a Hayabusa. And from its 883cc V-twin, it makes, drumroll please, 54 horsepower, and that is horsepower made at the crank, so probably like 45 at the wheel. That gives the Iron 8 power to weight ratio of 0.9 horsepower per pound. To put that into perspective, the Rebel 500 makes 46 horsepower and weighs 408 pounds, giving a power to weight ratio of 0.11. The Iron does make 54 foot-pounds of torque, so it may feel a little bit quicker moving down the road, but don't be fooled, the Rebel 500 is faster than the Iron 883. If you're dead set on selling your soul for the bar and shield, check out the 1200 Sportster models instead, and you'll see a little bit more performance. The next bike on our list is the Duke 200. Come on, KTM, why'd you have to do us like that? The Duke 390 is already plenty approachable and on the slower side, but is still playful and fun in its own right. What is the point of a Duke 300? Is it catered towards children or scooter lifers who want to know what it feels like to use your left hand to work a clutch instead of just picking their nose? Oh wait, it's a bike that was basically pulled directly from India and sold here in America. The Duke 200 is a 200cc single that makes 26 horsepower and 15 foot-pounds of torque while weighing in at 340 pounds. This gives the Duke a power to weight ratio of 0.76 horsepower per pound. Yes, we're going out to the thousandth decimal figure here. The power isn't absolutely terrible for a little thumper, but I feel like at that point, you should just get a small dual sport that would weigh less and be more capable. The Duke 200 doesn't have any of the premium features that even the Duke 390 does to give it the full KTM allure. If you're out with your mom and you ask for a KTM Duke and she says you have a Duke at home, the Duke 200 is what you have at home. The biggest selling point for the Duke is the price point, but with an MSRP of $4,000 plus taxes and fees, you can just find a slightly used Duke 390 for the same prices at the door cost of a Duke 200. The number 8 slowest motorcycle on our list is the Yamaha V-Star 250. The V-Star is so slow that horsepower figures are wiped from the internet entirely. It is just listed as NA on every website. It is literally easier to find the guest list and itinerary for the Bohemian Grove than V-Star horsepower figures online. If you ride a V-Star and for some reason have decided to dyno it, you could break the internet by leaking those power figures. But considering the V-Star 250 and the now defunct Virago 250 use the same 250cc Yamaha V-twin engines, we will assume that they make comparable power and base our calculations off of the 23 horsepower made by the Virago. So 23 horsepower at 324 pounds is a power to weight ratio of 0.071 horsepower per pound. So the Yamaha V-Star is slow, no doubt about that, but surprisingly not as slow as the rest of the motorcycles on this list. Classic Yamaha, just right down the middle. Hey, this is Yan with YN Moto. Today we're looking at the Nolan N87 helmet. Other helmets, they don't work wet. This thing works wet or dry. You can use this thing on your favorite back roads, country roads, whatever kind of roads you want to go on. This thing is DOT rated, ECE rated, and Sharp 4-star rated as well. Other helmets, you're looking like a baseball cap on your head. This thing's going to keep you protected anywhere you go. This helmet's working twice as hard for you. Why do you want to crap your helmet for more money? This bad boy's got a fog-resistant visor, climate-cool padding, and eyewear adaptive in case you want to be a sport-touring dad. What's not to like? It's made in Italy. You know the Italians make good stuff. This baby's also got a fully adjustable VPS sunscreen with 400 UV protection. Didn't know you needed to stay protected against the sun while you rode, did you? Here's some gooch juice we collected from one afternoon ride here in Texas. Now you grab some of this, regular helmets, you put it in a helmet here, that is gonna stick. That is gonna get inside your shell, that is gonna smell bad all day long. Hear the Nolan over here? We're gonna do this in real time. You follow me, camera guy? You put the gooch juice in the Nolan, see that? It sticks, it resists, it doesn't get into your helmet. This will not get you stick, it will stay virtually dry all day long. Get yourself over to shop.yamaha.co and get yourself one of these bad boys. Look, you're gonna go online, spend $550 on some Rock helmet that's not even gonna have the same features as this thing. Don't be silly. $325 get you this helmet right here. But if you go right now to shop.yamaha.co, get yourself 10% off this helmet right here. That's $300 for this helmet full of features. Go to shop.yamaha.co, get yourself this Nolan N87 helmet today. We've got another cruiser up on our list. In the number 7 spot, it's the Rebel 300. Honda has always taken pride in it being approachable to people of all walks of life, and I guess the Rebel 300 is catered towards people who smoked too much K2 in 2010 and can now only speak in 4-word sentences. The Rebel 300 is a 286cc engine that makes 24 horsepower and 18 foot-pounds of torque. This entry-level cruiser weighs just 364 pounds, giving a power-to-weight ratio of 0.069 nice horsepower per pound. I'm not sure if the Rebel 300 really has any purpose other than a bike for the MSF course, where riders have never ridden a motorcycle and half of them can't even ride a pedal bike. If you're considering a Rebel 300, you should probably just get the 500. Please, you're going to get so bored so quickly if you end up on a bike like this. A super slow and underpowered cruiser is nowhere near as palatable as a slow dual sport or something playful and sporty like a Duke 390. You can't wheelie it, you can't jump it, and if you get ABS, you can't do skids without pulling the fuse either. Hard pass. It is incredibly boring, even for Honda. You knew it was coming. The motorcycle coming in at number 6 is the Suzuki GSXR250. The GSXR250 lives in infamy for being the worst entry-level sport bike, and believe me, the jury consensus is unanimous. The GSXR250 is a power-to-weight ratio of 0.063 horsepower per pound. It has a 248cc engine that makes 25 horsepower and 17 foot-pounds of torque while weighing in at 399 pounds. The R3, CBR 300R, and Ninja 400 all weigh 30 pounds less, and some make nearly twice the power. It's almost like Suzuki is trolling everyone by keeping this in their lineup. We had a GSXR250 as a shop bike a while back, and that was good at everything besides being a motorcycle. Like a kid who considers his bullies his best friends, the Gixxer happily took every beating we threw at it just because it was excited to be noticed. At least until its pathetic existence became too much to bear and we had to take it out to the gun range and reenact the ending of Mice and Men. Rest in pieces, Gixxer 250. Now we have a bike that will somehow garner no attention while also pissing off off-road gatekeepers at the same time. The next motorcycle is the Kawasaki KLX 230. Most dual sport motorcycles don't make massive power figures from their single-cylinder engines, but the KLX 230 has somehow managed to be both fairly lightweight and simultaneously underpowered. It is a 233cc single that makes 17 horsepower and 13 foot-pounds of torque. It weighs just 291 pounds, but even still, it has found a spot in the slower half of our slow bikes list with a power-to-weight ratio of 0.06 horsepower per pound. For just $1,000 more, you can buy the KLX 300 and get so much more motorcycle. How can I describe this in a way that Kawasaki riders will understand? Let's think. The KLX 230 is like when the gas station is out of normal Monster and you have to get the Monster Original Low Carb instead. It'll get the job done, but you're going to spend the whole time thinking about how that one that got away. The next bike on the number 4 spot is the Yamaha TW200. People always get mad when you criticize the T-Dub because it's a farm bike, it's not supposed to be fast, but bro, when was the last time you were on a farm? Farming runes in Elden Ring doesn't count. It is 2022. It would be more fitting for Yamaha to make a bike catered around Bitcoin mining than agrarian farming. The TW200 has a 196cc engine that makes 16 horsepower and 11 foot-pounds of torque. And if I'm on a farm, I'd rather just have 16 living, breathing horses than the mechanical equivalent shoved into a motorcycle that looks like it was made out of Legos and has a carburetor. And if they're so damn reliable, why does Yamaha have to keep making them? There can't be that many farms just churning through dirt bikes fast enough to justify Yamaha's continued manufacturing. I call foul play. Either Yamaha is on Monsanto's payroll and this bike is the mascot for some pro-farming marketing propaganda, or they have a standing order from the Motorcycle Safety Foundation to supply them with fresh bikes for each season of courses. The TW200 is a power-to-weight ratio of 0.058, making it certified slow. The next bike on the list hurts me a little bit because we've all started to become a little infatuated with the new efforts from Royal Enfield, but the proof is in the pudding. The motorcycle in the number 3 spot is the Royal Enfield Himalayan. The Himalayan is kind of a cool, rugged ADV bike that looks like someone bisected a Ural, but it takes a very special kind of engineering to have a 411cc engine and a 439-pound bike making only 24 horsepower. And if someone actually intends on doing ADV stuff, you can expect it to be carrying at least a few lattes and 40 pounds of reflective riding gear that will make the performance suffer even further. We have an Interceptor 650 as a giveaway bike right now. Go check out the channel for detailed content on that and how to win it over on YamiNoob.co. It is actually a really well put together beginner bike, so it sucks to see the Himalayan be such a dog. With a power to weight ratio of 0.054 horsepower per pound, the Himalayan practically makes the KLR look like a Pan America. The last one hurt me, but I know this one is just gonna hurt you. The next bike is the Royal Enfield Meteor 350. I know, I'm sorry, I do feel bad about this. The Meteor 350 simps are such a special breed. Their endless infatuation and loyalty in the face of staunch opposition from literally anyone who rides any other motorcycle says so much about their character. But I'm sorry guys, your bike is as slow as shit. Everyone has been saying it for forever, so I crunched the numbers myself, and unfortunately, the diagnosis doesn't look good. The Meteor weighs 421 pounds, its 349cc engine makes 20 horsepower and 20 foot-pounds of torque. It has a power-to-weight ratio of 0.048 horsepower per pound, making it one of the slowest motorcycles you can buy brand new today. On the bright side, that is still faster than a Prius, and it actually gets better gas mileage too, so we'll still let you call yourself a motorcyclist. It's okay. The last motorcycle, the absolute slowest bike on our list of slow bikes, is the Kawasaki Z125. I know what you're thinking, that isn't fair, why isn't the Grom on the list? Well, because Groms are cool, the Z125 is a cheap imitation. Ever since the UJM glory days, Kawi has been riding on the coattails of Honda's success. The only people who buy Z125s are people who don't know anything about motorcycles and call it a scooter, or Kawasaki simps who are desperate to make friends and hope that the local Grom squad won't notice. The Z125 is a little 125cc engine that makes 8 horsepower and 7 foot-pounds of torque. It weighs 225 pounds, which gives it a power-to-weight ratio of 0.036 horsepower per pound, which is lower than the Grom and even the Super Cub. And since it doesn't make any sense to have the entire list be mini bikes, the Z125 had to be the martyr and fall on its sword for all of them and be known as the slowest bike on sale today. Did your bike make the list? Probably not the most ideal video to have your bike mentioned in, but I'm sure a little recognition did feel nice. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe and stay up to date on the mean things I say about your motorcycle, or maybe I'll sing its praises. I've been known to change my mind before. Click the notification bell so you'll be first to know. Fact: tiramisu translates to take me to heaven in Italian. Goodbye. Keep watching YamiNoob!